Well, hello and welcome to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahida, and my fabulous co-host, Tracy, with the Black Boot Books Are Dope t-shirt. You always have a great t-shirt on.
Hey y'all. Listen, I have to bring the fashion for our YouTube viewers
Yeah, I love that.
and our bibliophiles.
And we were supposed to have book club this week at my house. I was hosting. I've been waiting for this for a year, but I'm not feeling great, and I didn't really want to pass on anything to anybody. But I love that. I love that shirt. Black books are, what is it? Dope.
Yes.
Where'd you
I
get that
got
from? Like a book fair?
I got this in Virginia. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
it's a store called, hold on, don't get me a lie, Literature and Libations, established 2023. It's like books and drinks.
New. I feel like I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I feel like I have heard of it. That's very
It
cool.
probably on Instagram or something. They had a pop-up, which is when I got a chance to meet them, was at their pop-up. I want to say it was in Virginia Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Hope I'm not making that up. That was
That was
someplace.
That was my biggest thing when I lived when I first came back from Mississippi and I was like in Boston. I wanted to open a bookstore and I wanted to call it Books, Bubbles and Baubles.
That sounds cute. I would patronize that store.
Yeah, and that was the theme. It was like just of course, books, but then I wanted to sell like, things that were relaxing for the body. So bubble baths, it was all about like, reading books and being at your comfort. So and the baubles were like just book accessories and all that other stuff.
See, I thought the bubbles were gonna be champagne. I was like, oh, liquor.
You know what? It probably would have graduated to that, at one point, and I missed out on that one. I should have done that more so than anything because books was my passion, and just being in a bookstore puts me at peace. I'm like, very happy but I was doing the business plan for it, and I felt at the time I was being very much so discouraged
Mm.
because that was when like really the big bookstores were really taking over. Barnes and Noble turned into like, a big one. What was another
Remember
one that
Borders?
Borders was another one. Books a Million, they were all over the place. So you had these big bookstores and it was like, for a smaller bookstore, you really have to realize that you probably won't make as much money. You won't be on that level. Amazon had just came out. But, people have done it and I was deterred by that. But I used to
Mhm.
love Borders. The one downtown,
Yeah.
remember it was like 3 floors?
Like the one in Chestnut Hill.
I don't think I ever well, yeah, because you worked in that area. I worked downtown, so that was where I was all the time. But I love that one. And they turned it into a Walgreens.
Yeah, the one that was in the mall in so it wasn't in the Chestnut Hill Mall, it was the mall
Mhm.
across the street
Mhm.
where Cheesecake Factory used to be. That's where the Borders was. But anyway, there was like three whole stores in that whole place. It was very bougie, very
Mhm.
upscale. But I used to like the Barnes and Nobles in Copley Place, which I think might still be there, possibly.
It is, but I don't think it's as big as it
That
used to
was
be because I think
huge.
they used
Yeah.
to have 2 floors, and I think now they only have 1, but I'm not sure because I used to go to that one also, but I love that Borders. That Borders was 3 floors. It
Yeah.
was huge, huge.
Mhm.
Loved it. But anyway, how was your week, ma'am?
I was like, "What did I do? Let me think now, because I did something." Oh, it was hubby's birthday, so we went out
Oh,
on
yeah, yeah.
Thursday night for his birthday, which was
Mhm.
fun. And he's a twin, so, I get 2 for 1. So,
Okay.
yeah, they celebrated together. My brother-in-law had a performance actually in, Back Bay near Berkeley
Mhm.
School of Music. He did an open mic on Thursday night. Shout outs to the Bebop, which is like a Irish pub type of spot.
Mhm.
And
Bebop.
Bebop.
With
Yeah,
that name,
bebop.
okay.
Yeah, and they were I
Mhm.
mean, the performers were varied, and it's the Berkeley music area, so, there's talent just oozing all over the place in that area. So my brother-in-law performed. He's, known as Cornbread the Artist, and
Mhm.
his breakout hit is called Purple Dandelions. The
Mhm.
crowd loved it. They went insane for it, and it was just a really good time. All of the performers were excellent. But my big takeaway was the food at the Bebop was far beyond my expectations in taste, presentation. It was so good.
Where was it? Where is it again?
It's on, Boylston Street, so it's kinda like
Okay.
if you haven't been in the area in a while, you look around
No,
and
I
be like,
haven't.
"Where did all these little things come from?" So there's a huge building, which I'm guessing is maybe housing for Berkeley or housing some kinda new luxury apartments. Then there's a Van Leeuwen ice cream shop there,
Mhm.
which I have been meaning to go to. Shout outs to Van Leeuwen, they're a client of my full-time job company, Trinet, and, they're based out of New York and have amazing flavors. And anyway, I'm not talking about ice cream. Across the street is where the Bebop is located, and there's like a row of little restaurants and stores and things like that, small businesses, and it's just right at the top of Boylston Street, like before you even get into fully into Back Bay and downtown.
Mhm.
It's like intersection of Mass Ave and Boylston, right there.
Mhm.
And, yeah, I had no idea the place was there. My brother-in-law's like, "Hey, I'm performing." That was what he wanted, to do on his birthdays. Hubby and I went. He, just hung out with the rest of the people that were in the bar, and it was all different walks of life performing. So it was really good. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's good. I went to this week, the biggest thing I did was I went to a community event that Helen Baskerville Dukes put on for Governor McKee for the community to ask him questions. And it was really good. It started at we're supposed to be there by 5:30. And I'm at that age when it says 5:30, I'm there at like 5:29. I hate being late for things. But it actually started. She had real food. I forget what restaurant she got food from, but she had chicken, beans and rice, and string beans, which I'm not even a huge fan of string beans, but they were delicious. I mean, I'll eat
Okay.
them, but
Yes.
usually like restaurants and stuff, they don't season them enough for me. It's a hit or miss for me, but they were delicious. The question, it filled up. I was like, very impressed because I think we have been talking about specifically that if you want your politicians to do what they said that they were going to do, you have to hold them accountable for all the promises that they made during the election. Although I'm not like a huge fan of some of the things that McKee has done, I appreciate him coming out to the community. Now, whether he implements, which said he would, he set up meetings with certain people to further discuss some of the questions that were being asked. One of the things I feel that they did not focus on as much as would have liked to have heard was education and what to do to encourage more teachers that are of color, especially Black teachers, what to do to retain teachers, because it is right now a field that they are having a lot of problems with, and Providence definitely has a shortage. So those need to be met in order for our kids to have the education that they deserve and need. So it was a good conversation. I think the biggest thing was homelessness, though. That was
Mm.
more so on everybody's mind. Homelessness and affordability for homes, which is like skyrocketed here in Rhode Island. And I feel like he addressed those things, but it's up to us to see what concrete efforts have actually been done. And I'll be the first to say that I definitely do criticize, but I do need to look a little deeper to see what policies he has really done, because all I can think of is the bridge, Washington Bridge. So,
Mhm.
going forward.
Yeah, and that's the thing is,
Mhm.
like, he could probably do 50 great things. What's going to make headlines is what he failed at. And that's most
Mhm.
politicians. You know what I mean? People are
Mhm.
always looking for the most salacious story. Very rarely do you scroll or, turn on the news. They're like, oh, look at this amazing thing that our mayor, our
Mhm.
governor, our congressperson did. It's like literally the whole tone of
Mhm.
any deliverables that we're getting has been so like what's
Mhm.
shock value, what is like how can they
Exactly.
sensationalize and scandalize what politicians are doing, and the thing is that they go in every day and they do their job whether we like what they come up with or not. They are
Mhm.
in there trying to get things done and trying to make things pass. But you're right, it's up to us to go to these community events, make the politicians be accountable, share with them how we think things are going because they may not have the right perspective. I mean, I know there
Mhm.
are some things they know exactly what's going on, but there are other things like there's an intersection near my house that I think is super dangerous. That's
Mhm.
something that's like, I'd like addressed, and maybe that's too far up the ladder for his level, but maybe my local council person could look into something like making
Mhm.
speed bumps or making it a one way or something like that. So all of those things that affect us on a daily basis, we do need to realize that we need to be more vocal. We need to find out when these community events are happening and we need to go to them and we need to
And show
participate.
up, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
And
that
I found out about it late, so I would have definitely gave it to you to post, but and I think I did post it, but it was the day before, which is
yeah.
like, f especially with people who are working, it's sometimes hard to be like, "Oh, the spur of the moment, I'm gonna go X, Y, and Z." So we do need, but I do realize as well too, they only announced it 4 days before. So, that's not
Mm.
a lot of time.
However, sometimes if you announce things too far in advance, it gives people
That's
time to
true.
make an excuse not to go. The thing is, you're
That
going
is
to go
true.
to the things that you're interested and really want to go to. Whatever you're motivated,
Mhm.
it could be the day before. If you're motivated, you're going to go to these meetings.
Exactly.
So, which brings me to another point because I just realized I did another thing last week that was really important for the Massachusetts area, and that was I attended a Metco alumni mix and mingle, which was also
Mhm.
like a little, not a fundraiser, but it was a donation drive. So we all brought
Mhm.
like hats, gloves, warm weather items, which I believe they're going to disperse either to local area people or the kids, maybe in the towns or whatever. But Metco, for people who don't know, is the Metropolitan Council. And it's basically, it was a busing program and it still is a busing
Mhm.
program where students from the inner city, I guess I don't want to say underprivileged, but it's students from Boston are bused into surrounding suburban towns to take advantage of the education and to help integrate those towns, even if it's, temporary because you're in school during the day with these kids and you spend a lot of time with those kids. I'm a alum of Wayland. I'm very proud of that. Go Warriors. And there were people from all different towns that came to this alumni mix and mingle, and they're ramping this up. They want to do more Medco events. So there's a comedy show that's coming up in December. There's a gala that's going to happen in March. Tickets go live for that tomorrow, which is Monday, the 24th. When this episode drops, that's when the tickets for the gala go live. So it's going to be good. And one thing that I found valuable about that is I got to talk to other people about something that happened in Wayland, a racial incident. You and I just talked about the racial incident that happened in Smithfield. A racial incident happened in at my alma mater, high school, and we actually maybe can do something about this. So now we're mobilizing and talking about ways to get into the community, to talk to the student, not student council, the school committee, and the powers that be. So it takes a village. We need the teachers,
Mhm.
right? We need people interested in teaching the kids. We need people who are interested in just being available to be part of the village and the community. As an alum, I have a stake in that town and what happens to the kids in that town because I was one of those kids. And,
Mhm.
so those are the kinds of things that, again, community, we have to show up, we have to mobilize, we have to get together. And we can have fun doing it and we can also get serious about it. So,
Yeah. That's cool, and that's important, and I think, like, Tracy, you went to, I guess, Medco maybe 10 years after I did.
Mhm.
because I was in the '70s, and that was part of that whole busing in the '70s where parents were not happy to have little black babies up in their school, and I went for the 1st and 2nd grade, and then I ended up in the 3rd grade going to one of the Catholic schools in the city of Boston. But there's a lot of things going on in especially in Rhode Island as far as schools concerned. So we're gonna talk about a couple of things, but there was another incident in Newport where 2 kids, both 16, seem to have attacked and bullied, another student in the locker room, and, of course, they filmed it, and they're saying that the kid is, like, has severe impairment, so we don't know what that actually entails, but they were arrested.
Mm.
And arrested. They were thrown off the football team, and I think they got rid of they canceled the rest of the football season for the school.
Wow.
Um, Let me make sure I'm not getting schools mixed up because that's how much has been going on, which is insane. And I'm pretty sure people have heard about Chicago. Let's see. So Rogers students arrested, accused of assaulting student with special needs. That's disgusting.
That's horrible. I mean, any
Uh,
student, they shouldn't be
yep,
hurting any student, but it's in particular a student who has,
with special needs.
special needs. Yeah, that's terrible. I and
And
I'm
so
I'm
yeah,
just
the football season was canceled for them, even though it's like what, 2 more games left, maybe one because it's the end.
that might hurt
Football. I mean,
more.
Thanksgiving is the usually the end of football season for football.
That might hurt even more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I
Hmm.
don't know what their record is or if they were close to, success. Either way, but I think that's the right move. Like I think they
It
need to
is.
be aggressive with,
Hmm.
how they handle things. Not like the whole cancel the whole football season. Like they couldn't just sub out those 2 kids. I don't know what the backstory is, but anyway,
I think part of the backstory is that these kids attacked this other kid and nobody else did anything.
no one stopped it.
So
Mm,
they were in the locker room
okay.
and they were bullying, harassing, and obviously attacking him, and nobody else did anything. They sat there and watched, they filmed it. So that was another lesson that needed to be learned.
Okay.
All of
Yeah.
you suffer at that moment because and kids do need to learn to stand up when when there's someone mistreating another student. I
Yeah.
remember there was when my son was in the 8th grade, he had a friend, Kyle, and Kyle was a bully. And my son would come home and he would say things that Kyle said to other people, and it bothered him. And I knew it bothered him. And then so I told him, I said, if what he does to other kids is awful, the teachers need to know, but also eventually he will do it to you.
Mm,
Eventually it will come back onto you. And I know you might be a little fearful or whatever. And he was. He was a bigger kid and everybody was afraid of him. And so eventually, I guess he said something, they had words, and then Kyle started bullying him. So I said, I'm going to teach you how to protect yourself. Little
mhm.
old me. So, because I knew a fight was coming. And I went up to the school several times and I felt like it was right over here in Centerdale. I felt like they did a very good job. I met with Kyle's mom, who I really liked. She was really doing the best. Another African American woman in the school because there wasn't that many in Centerdale at that time. But she was doing the best that she can, but we knew that this fight was coming and it did happen. And one of the things I told Michael, I was like, once you hit a bully, you have to keep hitting. You cannot stop because once you let up, they're gonna come at you. And then it's that
Yeah.
fear that they have. And then so they fought and they ended up both getting suspended. I'm like, why should Michael get suspended when we all knew that this was coming? Because this kid is rotten. And they said the only reason that they suspended Michael was for excessive force, and that was because he kicked them in the head. And I'm like, "Ooh, you cannot kick," and I that wasn't part of the lesson, but he got him down and was just but it was fear, and I always tell people, the worst person you could really get into a corner is the person that who is
Who's
most
afraid?
fearful of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they go into protection mode. They want to protect themselves, and a lot of
Yep.
times those are the fiercest one. And so he was suspended for like I think 3 days, and I said, you know what, for the excessive force, I accept that. But the school did very well. They ended up expelling Kyle because he was just a menace. But he had a good he had a good family situation, but there was some things that were going on. His parents were going through a divorce. Maybe that was part of it, but sometimes you just don't know what makes kids into bullies, but you got to deal with that. And so,
Yeah.
speaking of bullies, let's talk about
Talk
that
about it.
Chicago thing. So, I don't
Viral.
know if did you see the video?
I watched a little bit of it. So my
Mhm.
husband was like, "Hey, did you hear about?" And I was like, "You know what? It just knowing about it, I was just like, I don't even
Mhm.
want to really see it." And then it came across
Yeah.
my timeline. I watched a little bit of it and I saw the mom who was one of the victims, a mother and child that were victims, the mother holding the son, hope like trying to cover his mom to protect, and I had to turn it off. I was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I'm just gonna show a little clip
Yeah,
that,
no,
it
play
tells
it. But
some,
my thing is
but I
that
don't know if it go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, like, even when, like, the fights come on, like World Star, and people are fighting, I usually don't watch them. Like, as soon as
Me
I see that
either.
people are gonna start fighting, I usually turn it off.
Mhm.
Now, once in
Mhm.
a while, especially if there's like a funny voiceover, I might keep watching. But if it's just like
Mhm.
a random
Mhm.
fight, I try not to give those videos my attention. But this is
Mhm.
something that needs to be talked about because this is not goes beyond the pale. You've got kids bullying a parent. That's wild.
I'm gonna play a little bit of it.
Report on y'all ass when y'all was 12 and 13 years old. Y'all ass used to be out here beating up crackheads and all. Y'all don't know us at all. She was peer pressured. If you know my family, you know if we find a friend and a mother effer, and we gonna stand behind them 100% no matter what. But this is definitely a lesson learned. She was held accountable for her actions. Y'all talk about it takes a village. She got a castle. The F and
There's so much wrong with with all of it. Like, I can see why the kid is behaving the way she's behaving because the mother doesn't have any type of decorum, any type of filter. And this woman thinks she's mother of the year and her child is child of the year. Ma'am, no, you're not. I can tell just from your posts that y'all need counseling. All of you need counseling. You and your child and the rest of your family. Like, that's the
And what
response that you
she
put
talking
out.
about 12 and 13, we were out there beating up crackheads?
And maybe that's
What
Chicago.
town?
Maybe
Maybe
that's
that's
Chicago,
Chicago.
baby, and we don't know about that life where we come from because
Mm-mm.
especially our age group, I'm guessing the mother. I would hope that based on what I heard, the mother is not our age. I would hope
No,
she's
she's not.
younger. But because when we were raised, not only were you not beating up somebody's mama, but somebody else's mama was allowed to whoop your ass in the street if they saw that going on. So the fact that these little kids were able to beat on this woman and no grown up in the vicinity even stepped in that I could see to stop it is crazy. But you were afraid of adults when you were a kid. You not afraid, but you had enough respect not to attack an adult.
Respect. Mhm.
The
And
respect is not
from the
there.
video that I did see, I did not see the only people I saw around were the kids. So I don't know how far this was away from the school. They had been bullying her son for a long time. And so I guess maybe she decided to confront them to a point. But if let me tell you something. I had my little thing about bullying when I was and, not so much bullying to the point of like hitting people, but just wanting my way. That, that only child thing. And, we would get into like our little groups of like 3 or 4 and decide we weren't going to speak to one or whatever. But all respect to parents. Never in my lifetime, and I don't think I've ever seen any of my children that I know of, and I know I never had from, even when my kids were acting up in school, my every report was they were always respectful to adults.
Mm.
And if a parent came and said, I know you're doing X, Y, and Z, the last thing I would think about is putting my hands on that parent. So that was outrageous. But I'm going to show the girl's apology.
But
Let's see.
before you play that, did they beat that woman out of her
Mm-hmm.
pants? They did?
Ooh, so I didn't see the whole thing. I didn't see, she's pregnant too.
Oh, no,
But
I
I
did
didn't see
not.
her
I thought it
get
looked
beat
like her
out of her
pants
pants.
came off. I could be wrong. I didn't
I
watch
thought
that.
it was no, I don't think so. But you know what? It was all a level of savagery that I never thought I would see from it.
From
It was
some
like
school
children of the
kids?
corn.
Some school.
They all seem to be like between the 6th grade and 8th grade. So here's one of the the main one who got it going. So the instigator, and that was her mom that made that post. So she got her online and said that she wanted to apologize. But let me know how you feel at the end of this. She started it.
First of all, I apologize for everything is not an apology. If that was me making my child
Mm-mm.
apologize, you need to say what you did, why it was wrong, why you won't be doing it again, and your ass would have been hyperventilating. You wouldn't have been able to get words out because I would have whooped that ass so bad in the house that believe me, and maybe that's why she was crying like that. Maybe mama did have to choke her up and hem her up a little bit because I was not a gentle parent. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I got better
Mm-hmm.
as I had more kids. And I didn't like abuse my children, but my daughter definitely got spanked. The second one got less, and then the third one barely got any. But when it was warranted, they definitely got disciplined, and be that taking away things that they really enjoyed so that the point could get through. But definitely, like, even I remember one of my kids stole something while we were in a store. They were little, and I made them go back
Mm-hmm.
into the store. We paid for it was like chips or something, and then I walked her out to the garbage can. It was actually my niece that did that, and I made her empty out the snack into the trash to further drive
Mm-hmm.
home the point of
Mm-hmm.
we don't, this is not what we do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that apology, especially if word on the curb is that she started it. What peer pressure? Where's the peer pressure? And
Yeah.
school has a lot of peer pressure, but at what point do you assault a grown woman for out of peer pressure? I could see you fighting another kid. I could see you bullying a younger kid. Something I expect to happen in school. But when the mother approaches, the parent should have been able to feel safe just going to the school administration and talking to them. I don't know as a
Mm-hmm.
parent, I'm not going to say I wouldn't approach the kids because I have approached kids on my kids' behalf
Mm-hmm.
directly.
Mm-hmm.
But in
Yeah,
a
I mean, I
it,
have
but
too.
in a mature way. I didn't cuss the kids out. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? So
Mm-hmm. Again, I have like approached kids, but again, you approach them like a child, and you can lovingly reprimand somebody else's child because when I see somebody else's child acting up and, their parents are not around, would your mom want you to be doing X, Y, and Z? Like, there are plenty of times I've taken like, little kids to the park and the older kids are just like running over them. You have to check them. And you can do that lovingly without making them feel belittled. This woman and this child, I'm sorry, I think at this point, and think about it, these are what the teachers have to deal with. So if they are that belligerent that they will attack a parent, what will they do in the classroom? And she's
mm.
saying, oh, she gets A's and B's, she's captain of the cheerleading, and she does X, Y, and Z. All of that's gone. Because if I coach the cheerleaders, I'm not gonna no, that's part of
You're
her
out.
punishment. Yes,
Yeah.
she's done. She's done because she hasn't showed any respect. And you can't tell me this is a one-off.
But
There because there's build up to this.
for the
To
mother,
attacking a parent?
for the mother of the accused young lady to say, I don't owe anybody an apology other than the
Mhm.
victims, ma'am, humble yourself. That's my main takeaway from the
Mhm.
mother's response. And no wonder your child has no real accountability. You don't even have accountability
Mhm.
for yourself and how you're raising this young
Mm-mm.
lady and how she ha- behaved. I would be so upset. I would be so embarrassed for my child to be a part of something like that. Not to mention that if I'm thinking back to my 13-year-old self, let's say the oldest ones were eighth grade, right? Like eighth grade, you're
Mhm.
13, 14 years old. Even the thought of, okay, we're going to go as a group and beat up a grown woman, I'd be in the back of my head, I'd be saying, what's waiting for me at home? My grandmother and my
Mhm.
mother would have put me through a wall. Okay. That would
Mhm.
not have been,
Mhm.
and believe me, I used to get double teamed by them too all the time. And they weren't
Mhm.
punching me. When I say through a wall, it wasn't like
Yeah.
that. But I was definitely gonna get reprimanded when I got home. So before I even do anything wild in the streets, I'm always thinking about, how am I representing my family? What is going to be
A
happening when I
hundred
get
percent.
home? Cuz my mom she would have definitely like held me accountable. There's no way my mother would be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, Tracy's a B student." My mother wouldn't have cared about none of that. That's the bare minimum. You're supposed to be doing that. That doesn't make you a good person.
Mhm.
That just makes you smart, book smart.
Mhm.
You know?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my thing is we see the case in Smithfield with the racism, in Newport with them beating up an impaired person, then these kids in Chicago. The teachers are dealing with a plethora of like badass kids, and that starts at home. I know a lot of times we're always saying that the school system is bad, and it is. It could be better. We should have state of the art everything, especially for public schools, because that's our tax dollars. We should.
Yeah.
Teachers should be paid more, but also parents should be sending in children that to an extent fear the teacher, to an
Yeah.
extent understand that they can't be disrespectful to a teacher because their parents won't allow it, and then
Mhm.
that you shouldn't want to be. But to get to a level where you actually hit a mother, it's a learned behavior. I don't care what that mama says, and she's talking about, talk about a village. She has a whole castle behind her. I'd rather have a village than a castle. Do you even know what that even means?
Right. That
The
analogy does not even
belligerence.
match up, ma'am. What are you even talking
Stupid.
about? That 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 does not compute. So, yeah,
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
village
mm-mm.
idiots is what she got behind her.
Exactly. And yeah, I was really stunned by that, but that when I saw the ages, that I'm like,
But why are y'all
that's a
so mad? Why
generation
are
we
these
got to get
children
back.
so angry? Is the question. Like, what are y'all so angry about?
Mhm.
I
Uh,
just I
well, like we
mm,
said, Chicago can be a whole other beast. It could be
apparently.
different, but the community, because you saw at the very beginning of that community came out in defense of that woman, and her family. And some, what
The
was it?
chant was
A
crazy.
lot of Chicago beat
Whoop
that ass.
that.
That's what they was chanting at the beginning. If you didn't understand it,
Right. So they weren't
which
defending
was,
the attackers. They were defending those who were attacked, saying that those kids, the attackers,
hmm
needed that ass whooped. They definitely need something.
a
They
lot of
definitely.
celebrities from that are from Chicago came. I, she got like Amazon gift certificates. Somebody gave her like 5,000. Another celebrity is helping her move out of that neighborhood to put her and her children in a better school district. Someone invited her out to spend the holidays in California. So,
Wow.
and I
Good.
hope these other kids are seeing this, because then they will see this is the type of behavior that gets you shamed. Your parents now are out here in these streets with videos and she's suing the parents, which is a good thing because they need to be sued, just like those parents whose kids go and shoot up schools. they need to be sued as well. So she's suing the parents, and people are saying, well, she's not going to get anything. Fine them and garnish their wages. Because a lot of times people be like, I don't care if they sue me, I ain't got $50,000 to give you. So you ain't got garnish their wages. And every time your child, because I don't believe that children should not go to school. So there has to be. But if the parents know that, look, when you go to school and you F up like this, you disrespect your teacher like this, you disrespect your fellow students like this, the burden is on me. The burden is on me. So you need to go out there and act like you have some sense. And
Yeah.
maybe then they'll raise better ass kids, because there's an absolute, I get that you can raise great kids. Like I talked about the kid Kyle. He came from a very good home, and his mother was distraught about his reputation at school. And I feel like she was really trying. We did get to be like very friendly until she moved to Atlanta. We did get to be very friendly. She could do everything. This is like the 8th grade, but he chose this path. It wasn't like he was a baby anymore. And like these kids, they're not babies anymore. They could come from good homes and fall into some level of peer pressure. But judging from the mom and how her attitude was, I don't think that they're learning those things at home. So
Yeah, that it was
give me a break.
disgusting. And I hope that they do something in the school, and they talk to the student body, because that was a handful of kids compared to a school which probably has
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of other students. They need to talk to the kids and speak to them about what it means to be a good citizen in the world, and what it means
Mm-hmm.
to like
Mm-hmm.
foster love and encouragement for each other. And it's just, I don't know, the fact that they did that to a parent is just, it just doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't, it's not something I would consider doing at that age. But clearly we're in a new time, we're in a new generation. And I say this all the time, is like, these are some new kids. These kids are different.
These are.
Yes.
I'm just going to stop 1 second because my battery is low and I had to
Okay.
charge my laptop. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. I had to plug in because my laptop was like, girl, no, we about to die. You ain't had us plugged in all weekend. So yeah, I am distraught about that, and I really feel that at this point in time, we need to start, because we all want better education. I said one of the things that I was not impressed about, is that we didn't talk about some of the issues that we're dealing with in Providence and the state of Rhode Island as a
Mhm.
whole, and the punishments that have to be dealt out to children. One good thing did happen in Rhode Island: that Barrington teacher was actually reinstated. So he had been
Oh,
the one
great.
who talked about Charlie Kirk, who said that he called, and the thing that upsets me about the news is that they're saying, like, he said that Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit, which he did. And but they did he actually said why he was a piece of shit. He gave list of reasons of why he was a piece of shit. And the fact that that kind of gets lost in all the sauce, that no one actually brings up the reasons why Charlie is a piece of shit, actually, to me, is a failure on journalism, a failure for Barrington High School. But he's going back to work, and he had been on paid administrative leave since September. When was this September this happened? I think it's
I
September.
think so.
And he had been on paid administrative leave, and he goes back into the school at December 1st. But they did release, I guess, a statement from the school department that anybody can go and take a look at, because it was actually investigated by a law firm here in Rhode Island. Over 700 pages. I'm like, God damn, who is who is reading that?
Hmm.
But but so he'll be back out. And we did talk about last week how the same school wants to have a Turning Point USA camp
Chapter.
affiliated chapter at the school. So maybe they all kind of like work together, but that was a lot. I felt like the statement that the Barrington School Department gave was kind of on the snarky side because they're saying
Mm,
that he did violate some policies from the school as far as like teachers go, and they talked about all the attention that was given to their school and how they never want to be at the center of a national debate. Again, like this, they had to call in the Barrington police, the FBI. There have been threats against students. So it has divided the high school in the town to a point. But you can't say that a person repeating what another person says is derogatory when you're using that person's words. So you don't want to hear the whole story. But anyway, it's done. That's a done thing.
yeah.
So I
I
was glad
think
to see that he
too,
was back.
one of the things that my aunt always says is like, just be careful what you post on social
Exactly.
media. She always says
Mhm.
that to me. And am I careful? Hell no. I post whatever I want to post most of the time. But
Mhm.
when you are in certain fields, you have to be strategic. Is what I would
Mhm.
say. You have to be
Mhm.
strategic about what you say and how you say it. When you work with children, you, you might be held to a little higher standard. And of course, anytime you start a job, you do training, you sign off on things,
Mhm.
you're not reading it, and you're just going about your business. You don't even know what you signed. But if it's
Mhm.
saying don't XYZ and you do that thing, it's up to them to enforce it. And if they
Yeah.
want to enforce it, they can enforce it and have the right to do so. So
Mhm.
you have to be kind of careful. There's, some
Yeah.
things you just have to, you know,
But the thing
but
that upset me most about the whole Charlie Kirk situation and people's reactions to it was these are the same people that say that their rights are discriminated against when they speak out on their MAGA bullshit.
mm,
And they call us, snowflakes for, reporting certain things. Like, how you gonna call somebody a snowflake for saying they disagree with pedophilia? Because that's the debate this week. That's the
yeah.
that's
No,
the debate
they
this
only
week.
want rights for when they are speaking, not for when other people are
Exactly.
speaking. As long
So,
as you
and
don't
that's
disagree
something.
with them.
As and if and again, like they are out here bending over backwards, turning themselves into pretzels to convince us that having sex with a 15-year-old is not the worst thing that a 50-year-old man could do.
Disgusting. Disgusting. And oh, Musa.
America. This is where we are. But yeah, anyway, that was so it has been a very interesting week of trash.
Hmm.
But
Yes.
we do have Real Housewives, I think I might have a,
You
clip
have a
of the
trailer for
a
us?
trip. I think I might, I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. I do. Let me see if I can share that. Where did I get that? Can you see it?
Yes.
Oh, no sound. Oop, I'm sorry. What did I do? Can you see it?
I can see it, but it's not playing anything.
Let me see.
Wait, are you frozen? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Eh?
you couldn't
I
hear
thought you
it?
were frozen. I thought you were frozen.
Was just like stunned looking at like, who are these people? Let me stop it because it wasn't as big as I wanted it to be. I tried to pull it from Instagram. Did you
Okay.
see it?
I'm just seeing like a screen with a play it's a blue screen, the Go Local prop. It's not doing anything.
Oh, okay. Let me stop that. Let me stop sharing that and let me go here. All right, let me go back. Let's see. Did you see any of it?
No.
I'm probably gonna have. Okay,
There we go.
now Liz is. Okay. I'm sorry. I was bored already. I mean,
Ah, Andy.
And I'm gonna watch. I'm
I'll
gonna
watch.
watch
Yeah.
because I'm nosy and I want to see. But who the fuck are these people?
So the part that didn't get played is the part where somebody in the trailer says it's Rhode Island. Everybody knows everybody. Nobody knows none of y'all. No, that's a lie.
Mm-mm,
I do know someone who knows one girl, and I don't even know what her name is. But I'm
mm-hmm,
just like, I guess it's entertainment. It, they want us to believe this is a real thing. I guess we'll
mm,
watch and we'll
mm.
see.
I it's and again, somebody else was saying that, you already have New Jersey with the Italians, why couldn't they do a mixture like Cape Verdeans, Portuguese? And I don't know if there's any Portuguese in there, but,
There was a
it
Spanish-ish kind of lady in there. I don't remember which one it was, but she seemed like she had a little roll on her R, but the rest of them just look regular. I don't know.
one looked like she definitely is a person of color.
So, is that the one that was with Dolores and the guy was asking if they were sisters? They
Oh,
were, like, seated together and they were getting a caricature done, and he said, "Are you 2 sisters?" And she's like, "Why do we look alike?" Because Dolores from The Housewives, everyone thinks Dolores is mixed, and Dolores keeps saying
okay,
she's not mixed, but Dolores, we can see it, girls. Sicily is coming out, okay? The
okay.
Ethiopian recess genes are they're coming out. But,
I
yeah, sometimes they tan so much too that you don't know what's going on.
But sometimes, yeah, but I think this one is a little bit more than tan.
We'll see.
Something in the genes. We'll see. And I don't know when exactly it's supposed to come on. Let me
I
see.
didn't
Real
even know that they
Housewives.
were done filming, so that was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
shock
I
to
mean, because
me.
they did it in the summer. You could tell that it was all done during the summer months because it's cold now.
Yeah,
And so they're ready to release it. Rhode Island, Real House.
bravo. Yeah, should be interesting.
Yeah, I'll see when they
The trailer's
premiere.
out, so that's a good sign, so it must be coming out within the next 3 months or so.
Hmm. It still had November 16th.
Oh,
No, that
that
was no, wait, I'm sorry, that was the trailer, that was the
I was
trailer.
like, "Ooh, girl, that
So,
already came out." I was like, "There are episodes in the queue waiting to be watched," but
yeah, no, it's not saying when it's coming out. Just says November 16th was when they released the trailer.
it'd be interesting to see. I'll
Mhm,
see how much of it I watch. I'm not a big Housewife franchise person anyway. I think the one that
mhm,
I watched from start to finish was that offshoot was that Love Hotel because Wale was on
mhm.
it. Other
Was
than
while I
that,
was on it, mhm.
I really just I don't because I'm not a big fan of shows where the female friendships are so fragile and
Toxic?
and toxic and they're set up to be that way.
Yeah.
I don't understand I fall out with you today, but then we're on a girls trip together acting like nothing
Mhm,
happened. Or
mm-mm,
we're on a girls trip together and we're still mad at each other and then I'm over here with this group and I'm talking to this one about I don't
mhm.
that's not what I consider friendship, so I
No.
tend not to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to really watch them. I was into it. I was into OC, definitely New York. I watched Atlanta. I feel like Atlanta took it to another level, and I hated to see Black women at that level. I did not like it. Still a fan of like Candy. They had some really good people in Atlanta. Nene was off the it was
Sheree,
amazing. Sheree with the House of what was it House of Sheree?
she
House of She or
she by
She for
Sheree.
Sheree? A hot mess. A hot mess. But they made the reunions hilarious. But after a while, like you said, it
But
just
all the
gets to
throwing
be
drinks on each other and
not.
then the
Mm-mm.
cat fighting, it's just I don't
You can
like
be
it.
mad at me, but ma'am, you are never gonna throw a drink at me and we're gonna be friends again, or even in the same area again. No, thank you. No, thank
I'm
you.
like, if I get so mad at somebody that I want to throw a drink on them, I don't even want to be around you. I don't want to
No,
spend
at all.
time with you, especially after a certain age. Okay. Now, maybe
Mhm,
when I was 20, 21, and I didn't do those things, but I could see, like, okay, I don't have the life experience to know,
mhm,
like, but when you're 50, 40, and you're throwing
mhm.
drinks on people and you tussling with other women, like, come on now.
At 20, I don't even think I would have did that. My friends would have punched me in my fucking face if I started throwing up. Like, no, have
I
you
was
lost
never
your
the fight
mind?
I was never the
Me.
fighting friend. So and I know there are some
No, I
people
didn't want to get punched in the face.
I've always been a lover and not a fighter. So I just never really got into physical altercations with other girls. That just was not my I can't even think of one fight that I've had with a girl after elementary school.
Exactly. Like, that is not cool, it's not cute, did not wanna be involved in that. Nope, nope, nope. So, I don't know
Yeah,
what they are tripping on, flipping tables and nah. And also, like we talked about earlier about with the kids, how we represent ourselves in the street,
yeah,
we don't want to get back to our family.
right.
You know, come
Yeah,
on. So,
exactly.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah,
So it'll be interesting to see. I'll watch a few episodes to see how it goes, but,
yeah.
so that's it for Rhode Island news. You got anything else before we
I got
clock out?
nothing else for Rhode Island. I just been binge watching South African Netflix. That's what I will, end on is that instead of watching that stuff, I've gotten so into South African Netflix. And I watch some of the
Mhm,
Nigerian stuff too. I've always been like a big watcher of the
mhm,
the Nigerian movies and things like that. And I honestly am so impressed with the content that comes out on
mhm,
on that platform. I really enjoy it, especially like the stuff that's comedy or family based. There was one I watched the other day called Disaster Holiday, and I don't remember the names of all the actors, but there's a
yeah,
a set of siblings, and I'm gonna butcher their name because I don't have it in front of me, but it's like Felka. And they're three
mhm,
siblings, and they produce these movies, and they're just so good at it. I think it's two
mhm,
brothers and a sister, and so they did
mhm,
the holiday one, which is like a blended family on vacation. The stepmother's trying to, you know, go on this road trip with her husband and these kids, and the kids don't have a great relationship with the dad because he's working all the time. It was such a cute movie. It reminded me of
mm,
like a Johnson family vacation, like if you could
mhm.
equate it to
Okay.
that. And then there's another series. It's like How to Ruin Christmas. I don't think they've done How to
Mhm,
Ruin Christmas, but it's just really fun to watch. And I love the acting. Um, I think I've said this plenty of times. Like I watched Tubi with my husband, and I criticize the acting on those movies because it's so
mhm,
horrible. But the acting is so good on these South African
mhm,
movies. I'd much rather watch those. I'm like, the Tubi needs to watch some of these movies and get some lessons on acting from these
mhm,
these folks. But that's kind of it. I've just been, changing up my my watching algorithm, I should say, because not just social media has an
mhm,
algorithm, but your streaming services has an algorithm. The more you watch something, the more
mhm.
they're going to feed you more stuff like that. So I've been enjoying it.
You know me, I am a big, big person when it comes to watching foreign TV. If you
Hmm.
don't watch foreign TV and foreign movies, then you are totally missing out. Like we say, Koreans have it on lock when it comes to horror. Koreans and Japanese actually have it great. Sweden, in my opinion, has it on lock when it comes to like just crime thrillers.
Uh,
They are no joke. Paris took the French do too, and I feel like, because I went through my phase too with South African, movies back in the early 2000s. They had a slew of really good movies, South Africa, I can't think of any, but I'll try and look into them and see. They might still be on Netflix that you wanna watch. I know you'd rather watch something light, but some of their thrillers were really good. They were really
yeah.
good.
I don't mind
That's
a
what I look
drama.
forward to.
I don't mind a drama, but
Mhm,
I like my lane is romantic comedies,
mhm,
things like that. That's what I enjoy. And South Africa has some incredible comics that have crossed over into
mhm.
film. And it's like the equivalent of like, say, a Monique or Kevin Hart or Tiffany Haddish leaving,
Mhm,
or branching out from comedy into film. And some of them are just they are so good. I mean, their comedic timing, it's physical, it's cerebral. It's
mhm.
just it's really cool. So I've been enjoying that.
Okay.
Spice things
I
up a
have
little.
watched a couple of them of, like, the romance ones. Let me ask you a dumb question.
There are no dumb
What
questions,
is
Shahida.
the yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The corniest rom-com or actress or actor that you will always watch?
Ah,
Before you answer, I'll just
you
go
answer.
ahead.
You go ahead.
Go ahead. You
No,
got
you
it?
go, because I had to
Okay.
think about it.
And I'm embarrassed, but Jennifer Aniston got has me in a chokehold with those corny ass romantic
So
comedies.
it's funny you
And my
should say that.
favorite one
Okay.
is The Switch with her and Jason Bateman.
Okay.
Don't ask me why I like that movie. I will watch it every time I see it on TV. The other day, because I wasn't feeling great, I watched it and I was just like, I don't feel like watching it. And I watched it
Mm.
back to back, just because I didn't feel like searching for anything else and I just like it. But I don't know why. And I'm embarrassed about it.
So don't be embarrassed about that. Why? She's a great actor.
Because
I
it's
actually
just
like her.
corny.
I like her. But so in a Venn diagram
Hmm.
kind of overlap, I will watch any rom-com with Adam Sandler. I'll watch any movie with Adam Sandler. I really like him.
Just go with it. I didn't
And they
see
have
that like a
2. They have
thousand
at
times
least
too.
2. Yeah, they have at least 2 rom-coms together.
Yeah, they
And I
have that. I think the other one is that they're on the ship. I can't remember. It wasn't as good. Oh, they're on the ship.
but
It's on,
him and
only
Drew
on Netflix. There's
Barrymore,
a
Adam and Drew
mhm.
Barrymore together. Oh, that's chef's kiss. That's like the
Oh,
perfect
really?
formula for me.
That's
I love
hilarious.
those 2 together. 50 First Dates, oh my God. I could watch that
Mhm.
movie a
Mhm.
million times, and The Wedding Singer, a million times.
Oh, The Wedding Singer was really good.
Yeah.
That was good. Was she in the? Yeah, she was in The Wedding Singer. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I'll
I
watch
know.
anything with
I
Vince
don't know.
Vaughn too. Any Vince Vaughn romantic
Really?
comedy, you got me. You got me. Anyone.
I do not like Vince Vaughn. I
Hi.
don't know why.
He's
I
so
just don't.
tall.
He just irritates the hell out. He is him and what's her name? Dakota Johnson. Those are the
Yeah.
two that I will just, if I see them in a movie,
You
click,
click.
I go to the next one.
So okay.
Mm-mm, not
So
doing it.
to come full circle, this is not to make light of what happened in Chicago, but the bullying scene, right? In
Hmm.
in Step Brothers, which is not a rom-com, it's just a com. Do you remember that
That's
movie?
hilarious.
So Step
Oh,
Brothers
hell
had
yeah. I must
that
have watched that. I
scene.
thought, because Will Ferrell is, I don't care what anybody say, I love him down.
Will Ferrell and John C. Riley, when the kids
Hmm.
bullied them and made them lick doo-doo, they used to try to cut and go home
And
different.
it was the white dog dude too.
When you brought the fight in Chicago up to me, it reminded me of how they would like try to go walk home different routes because they were scared of the school kids. So it's not just our kids. Y'all white kids be out there doing this stuff too. They made a whole
They're
movie.
like, ma'am, that was a comedy. That was a comedy. Oh
I'm
yeah, I
just saying
forgot about that. That
these kids
movie
is bad,
was
period. Y'all are doing a
hilarious.
terrible job. You're doing a terrible job raising these badass kids, millennials. That's what I wanted to come here and
Mhm.
say. But
Mhm.
that it
Mhm.
reminded me
We
of
gotta do
that. Oh my
better.
goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Do
That
better.
is funny. I forgot about that scene. And when he was like, it was the white dude too. I was like, oh, it had been there for a while.
That was my jam. That was my jam.
Yeah, that is that's a classic comedy. A
Hmm.
classic. That and Talladega Nights. Stop playing with me.
So me and my sister, we
Did you
won't
ever see
talk.
Talladega?
I saw Talladega, but going back to Step Brothers, me and my sister we'll just say Catalina wine mixer to each other and bust out laughing. But continue about to Talladega. That and
No, I'm just saying those are just like two.
Stay Golden Pony Boy.
Yep.
I say it all the time.
Yeah, that was the best.
Talladega
Mhm.
was good though.
Mhm.
Talladega
Yeah,
Nights
that's
is good.
yeah, Talladega was good. And in that same vein of comedy that is just absolutely hilarious, and every time I see like clips of it is the Gemstones. Did you
Oh,
watch
the righteous
Righteous
gemstones.
Gemstone? Hilarious. What is the guy's name that plays the brother? No, he plays
Danny
the
McBride.
uncle.
And
He was
oh, Uncle Baby Billy.
no, not him. He's funny. Yes. That's the best one of the best characters ever.
What's his
One of the
name? I
best
can't
characters.
remember his
That show's
name.
hilarious.
All of the characters on that show were amazing. The sister Judy, Uncle Baby
Huh.
Billy,
Yes.
the even Dan from Roseanne as the father Elijah Gemstone.
Mhm.
epic. Danny McBride is I
Top
consider
tier.
him a writing genius, and I love how he makes his Southern
Exactly.
characters because
Mhm.
he he doesn't lean on racist tropes when he does his writing. And I love
Mhm.
that about him. Like he'll
Mm.
write in a black character. He might be like, there's only one black person in this town, but they have substance to them.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna, we're just gonna like amplify and we're gonna we're going to caricaturize these Southern people and how they really be
Mhm.
acting. And it like Vice Principals was a good series that he
Oh,
did.
that was excellent.
Eastbound and Down. I love Danny
Mhm.
McBride. He's
Mhm.
incredible.
He is very, like you said, very talented, excellent writer,
Yeah.
hilarious,
Yes.
hilarious. Well, on that note, we
We're
will
about to be
wrap it
out.
up.
We're about to be
Mhm.
out.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Yeah. Wrap it up. So y'all know where to find us. It's the week of Thanksgiving, so you'll have a little downtime after you
Yes.
cook and eat. You what you gonna do after that? You maybe watch a football game. Black Friday, you could be listening to our podcast because you don't got to go to work, and you know where to find us.
And you shouldn't
Facebook.
be shopping
Don't
because
go to Black Friday. Don't
we
do
are
it.
boycotting
We
this bullshit.
boycotting.
Mhm.
So find us and follow us and like us on Instagram and Facebook at Little State Big Voices. You can also watch our past episodes and our current episode on YouTube at Little State Big Voices and wherever podcasts are heard or listened to. You can get us on Apple Podcasts, you name it. But Shahida, tell our fine listeners where they will
Y'all
still not
know.
find us.
Y'all know we are still not on that motherfucking TikTok and we will not be. It was on
We ain't on that.
we were 50-50 for a minute. For a minute. And then Trump's friend brought it and we like, hell no. Hell no.
Hell to the no, no, no.
Have a great week. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful time with your family. De-escalate from this craziness. I hope everybody remains safe. But until next week, peace out.
Deuces.